Chapter 6 of Bhishma Parva, Krishna's anger. Early next morning, Bhishma arranged his army in the shape of Garuda, the sacred eagle. The beak was Bhishma, the eyes were Drona and Kritavarma. Ashwatthama and Kripa made up the head of the bird. The Trighartas and Jayadratha with their armies formed the neck. The king was behind them at the heart of the bird with his brothers and Vinda and Anuvinda, the Avanti brothers. The tail was formed by a huge army under the control of Brihadbala, the king of Kosala. Arjuna saw the phalanx arranged by his grandfather, and in consultation with the commander Drishtadyumna, he arranged the Pandava army in the shape of a crescent. On the right side of the crescent, the horn was stationed Bhima. Along the lip were placed in increasing thickness Drupada and Virata with their armies. Then came Nila, and after him Drishtaketu. Drishtadyumna and his brothers Shikhandi came next. At the center of the crescent was Yudhishthira with his army of elephants. The narrowing crescent proceeded to the left. Satyaki and the 5 sons of Draupadi were there. Then came Abhimanyu and his stepbrother Iravan. Then came Ghatotkaja and then the Kekayas. At the left tip was stationed the chariot of Arjuna with Krishna holding the reins of the white horses. The Kaurava army, refreshed by sleep, was looking forward to the battle. In a few moments the fight began. The general fight went on furiously. Bhishma was today supported by Drona, Jayadratha, Purumitra, Vikarna, and the Villi Shakuni. They were faced by Bhima, Satyaki, Ghatotkaja, and the sons of Draupadi. The sun could not be seen because of the dust which had risen in the battlefield. Duryodhana accosted Ghatotkaja with 100 chariots to help him. Bhishma was in the form. He was killing as though he was in a frenzy of destruction. Arjuna saw it and advanced towards Bhishma. He faced a great opposition. The infuriated Kauravas fought very well. Abhimanyu and Satyaki fought with Shakuni and his attendants. The chariot of Satyaki was destroyed by Shakuni. He jumped into Abhimanyu's chariot and continued to fight. Bhishma and Drona now proceeded against the elephant army of Yudhishthira. The sons of Madri were there to help Yudhishthira. The fight went on in several parts of the field. The prowess of Ghatotkaja was seen only today. He was greater than even his father in fighting. He very easily destroyed the great army of Duryodhana. There was a fight between two. Bhima came now to fight with Duryodhana, his dearest enemy. Duryodhana was hurt by the onslaught of Bhima and he fainted in his chariot. His charioteer took him away quietly from the fighting area. Drona and Bhishma began to harass Bhima. Satyaki had come to assist Bhima. Duryodhana had recovered from the faint and he came back to the front. He saw the havoc caused in his army by Bhima and Satyaki. He was terrified by the sight of his army dwindling down at an alarming fast rate. He rushed to the side of Bhishma and said, "It is not right that this should happen when you are here. Drona and his son Ashwatthama are alive and still this is happening to my army. The Pandavas surely are not powerful enough to defy all of you. It is not difficult for me to guess the reason for this. The sons of Pandu are your favorites. You like them immensely. You are all partial to the Pandavas. That is why you are allowing this wild killing of our soldiers. Drona is just like you. You do not like to fight with the Pandavas. If you had told me even at the beginning of the war that you did not like to fight, I would not have asked you to be the commander of my army. If you had thoughts of abandoning me, both of you can tell me so. I will ask Radheya to fight. If you have any affection for me, both of you must fight to the best of your abilities and destroy my enemies. Bhishma heard the words of Duryodhana, which were so much sharper than his own arrows. He laughed at the king and said, "My child, for the past so many days, why, years, I have been telling you that the Pandavas are invincible, that Indra himself cannot withstand their attack. But you would not listen. It is because we love you that we have agreed to fight on your side. I am trying my best. I am an old man and I am trying to behave like an young man and fight with the terrible Pandavas. See my fight. I am going to kill the enemy army as I have not done till now." Bhishma, like an elephant which had been most cruelly prodded by the mouth, rushed against the army of the Pandavas with renewed energy. He blew his conch, and the noise warned the Pandavas that the old man was very angry. It was midday. The Pandavas had so far been very happy since they had been winning easily. They were now rudely shaken out of their complacency. Bhishma's bow was singing, so constant was twang of its string. The river of blood began to flow in torrents now. The Kuru veteran was ploughing through the ranks and the flood flowed in his wake. No one could come near him. He fought like one possessed. He was all over the field. Arjuna saw him in the east, and next moment he was in the west. It looked as though he had taken the center of the stage for himself and had no intention of leaving it. The army was being slaughtered fast. No one on the Pandava side was able to stand up to him. Krishna saw the state of affairs and spoke to Arjuna. "Arjuna, I can see that the time has come when you will have to justify your words. In the midst of the kings, you said that you would destroy the Kaurava army led by Bhishma, Drona, and all the others. You said that you could destroy every one of them. Make these words of yours come true. It is not right that you should allow this weakness to come over your heart. You are thinking only of the fact that Bhishma is your grandfather. But take a look at our army. Look how it is being destroyed by him. Have you no pity for them? The army is melting like snow at the touch of the sun." Arjuna was impressed by the words of Krishna. He said, "Take me to him, Krishna. I will fight with him." Everyone was happy to see the chariot of Arjuna proceeding towards Bhishma. The combat began. The banner of Bhishma was felled at one stroke of Arjuna. His quick and active fighting was greatly appreciated by the old man. He saw how beautiful Arjuna looked with his bow always bent and with the arrows pouring out of it. Bhishma said, "Well done, Arjuna. Only you can do this magnificent deed. I am immensely pleased with you. Come, let us continue the fight." The fight went on. Krishna saw the terrible wrath of Bhishma. He also saw that Arjuna was deliberately soft in hitting Bhishma. He could see that the Pandava army had absolutely no chance unless the old man was stopped in his track. Krishna told himself, "My friend Arjuna is not able to forget that he is fighting with his dear old grandfather. I think I will have to forget the oath that I will not fight in this war. I will kill this man for the sake of the Pandavas. I must lift the burden off the shoulders of Yudhishthira. Arjuna has forgotten his duty in spite of my telling him often. I must do something about this." Even as he was thinking thus, Bhishma sent arrows which hurt Krishna. Bhishma was supported by Drona, Vikarna, Jayadratha, Bhurishravas, and several others. All of them attacked Arjuna. They had every intention of killing him. So fierce was their fighting. Satyaki was alarmed at the condition of Arjuna. He rushed up to his help. The others stood by and watched helplessly. They were not able to meet Bhishma. The army of Yudhishthira rushed to help Arjuna. Even Satyaki was able to notice the gentle fight of Arjuna. Krishna could not bear it anymore. He saw Satyaki and he was pleased with his valor and his courage. He looked at Satyaki and said, "Watch me, Satyaki, watch me kill this terrible old man Bhishma and his friend Drona. I find that I have to take a hand in this fighting and kill them. I must please Yudhishthira and Bhima and the twins. Arjuna is letting us down very badly. I have sworn to make Yudhishthira king of the world. If I do not kill these men now, my promise will go. I have promised to Draupadi that the blood of these sinners will stain the earth. I must make her happy. I have to punish these men for their sins." The great Krishna forgot his human form. He thought of his divine form. He was now the great destroyer Narayana. He thought of his chakra called Sudarshana. Even as he thought of it, he found it in his hand. With the chakra in his hand, the great Narayana shone like the god of death. He jumped from the chariot. Brandishing the chakra in his right hand, he came and stood before Bhishma. He looked like an angry lion standing before a wild mad elephant. With his brow glowing with anger, the great Krishna was seen by everyone. All the knowing ones thought that the end of the world had come. Seeing him in front of his chariot, Bhishma said, "I bow down to you, Lord of Lords. I have been honored by this, your appearance. Please grant me release from this human bondage. Please kill me. There will be no glory greater than death at your hands. I will have the greatest honor bestowed upon me if you kill me now. Can you not see that I want to die? That I have been wanting to die all these so many years. I want death. I want to go away from here. I am sick of life. I cannot die. Please kill me and grant me the freedom which has been denied to me because of the curse of Satyavati. Please kill me now." The great Bhishma spoke thus to Krishna and prepared himself to fight. Seeing that Krishna was ready to fight, Arjuna jumped down from his chariot. He rushed to Krishna's side. He caught hold of his right hand. Krishna was wild with anger. He tried to shake off the restraining hand of Arjuna. But in desperation, Arjuna clung to his right arm. He fell at the feet of Krishna. His heart was beating fast. His eyes were blinded by his tears. He would not let Krishna take one step forward. He said, "No, you must not be angry. You must not do this. You must forgive me." Krishna was slightly mollified. He paused and looked at Arjuna. Looking at his angry eyes, Arjuna said, "Krishna, please take back your anger. You must not break your oath. You have sworn not to fight. In your anger against me, you must not do this. I swear on the name of my child that I will fight the Kauravas as I promised. I will fight with my full fury against Bhishma. You must not be false to your words." Seeing the state of Arjuna, Krishna was pacified. He calmly got into his chariot and took up the reins of the horses in his beautiful left hand. The smile which would always be on his lips was not there. Krishna took up his Panchajanya and blew it lustily. Arjuna blew his Devadatta and the four quarters resounded with the noise. Bhishma, accompanied by Bhurishravas, advanced like a shooting star raining fire. The fighting of Arjuna was terrible. He withstood all the arrows of the great Kauravas. The Kaurava army was being destroyed by the sharp arrows of Arjuna. He began to send his divine missiles against Bhishma. It was now Arjuna's turn to be terrible. He sent the astra called Aindra, and he destroyed a large portion of the army. Bhishma, Drona and Bahalika saw the ruin in their army caused by Arjuna. They saw the west red with the rays of the setting sun. They decided that the armies should be withdrawn. The third day's fighting was over. The Kaurava monarch was desperate. He saw today the terrible form of Arjuna in action. He was afraid that the words of his elders might prove to be true. Arjuna seemed to be invincible. Shri Krishnarpanamastu.